Hello and welcome to Soul GPS. Today we're talking about health, and specifically I wanted to share with you the journey that I've been on over the last 10 months that had brought me many times to tears, to moments of feeling hopeless and experiencing such tremendous pain that I just did not know how to handle. So I had promised that I would make this video after I had made the one in September telling you about the neurological pain I have been struggling with, and I want to thank you all so much for your words of encouragement, for all of your support and asking great questions and pointing me towards the direction of tests that I should be doing. So that was a little bit less than 2 months ago. That's when I experienced probably what I would call a rock bottom when it comes to my energy levels plummeting, my pain increasing, and me feeling increasingly more and more hopeless about what's happening to me, because I didn't have any answers, and especially conventional medicine wasn't able to provide any. So I felt really lost and very, very, very scared. So I went through a whole gamut of thinking maybe this is autoimmune disease, maybe this is pinched nerve in my neck, maybe it is some parasitic infection, maybe it's bacterial infection. I didn't know, and my doctors didn't. The whole ordeal began 10 months ago after a fairly difficult summer last year that was high stress, and what I believe had happened is that my immunity plummeted, which exposed my body to all sorts of things. In addition to that, I was in a bus. It wasn't a fender bender, but it wasn't an accident, but basically the bus driver hit the brakes really hard, and what happened is my chest hit the railing so hard that it jerked my head, and I think it may have caused some trauma to my neck, which is what the MRI showed, that my neck needs more help than my head, because apparently my brain was okay. So I just want to let you know that it's not MS, I don't have any, at least according to conventional medicine, I don't have any symptoms of an autoimmune disease. However, what I was worried about was that I was experiencing the very early nascent signs of autoimmune disease after having gone through so much pain, so much trauma, and so much stress in my life. So when I started to make some leeway was when I met a naturopath, and she had recommended that I do an anti-parasitic regimen, which I did. It helped a little bit, but not all the way. What I used, but I did complete it. I'm actually still completing it. What I used is this is a Polish product. It's called Parapharm. So it contains a mix of anti-parasitic herbs that are mixed with or dissolved in glycerin. You don't want to do one that has alcohol in it because it's bad for your liver. And you can read up about it. There's a ton of information online about doing an anti-parasitic diet and an anti-parasitic protocol. So I think it's just a good idea to do them at least once a year, just because we get exposed to all sorts of things on a regular basis, things we can't see. So it's a good proactive thing to do. But what really moved the dial for me was when my coach told me about medical medium and Anthony William and his work. I'm going to include a link down below to his material, because I think it's really profound. I know some people who are very skeptical about him. They say that, he's not a doctor, how does he know? But, when I was at the point in my life where I felt like nothing else was helping, and I would go to an emergency hospital 3 times a week sometimes in tears because I felt like I was dying, and nobody was helping me. All they told me is supposed to take an ibuprofen. Then, you grab onto anything that gives you hope. So that's what I did. And that was the best decision I could have made, because less than 2 months later, I'm down to about 20% of symptoms, and not on a constant basis. Most of it is completely gone at this point, and I feel much better than I have in over a year. So what did Anthony William say? Well, he talked about viruses, and I have felt myself, I had a hunch that besides the pinched nerve, which I think was also an issue, and I'm working on that as well with a great chiropractor, and exercises and gentle stretching and so on and so forth, posture, watching my posture, I felt like there was something more. There was an underlying issue that was compromising my immunity. So what he said was that this virus thrives in a polluted environment. It loves heavy metals, it loves dairy, eggs, gluten, corn, soy, and so on and so forth. These were the foods I was eating at that time. So that was the first thing I did, is I said no more, and I eliminated those. So it became evident that I needed to do a liver cleanse because it was polluted not only by the heavy metal loaded air that I was breathing and the pesticide laden food that I was eating, no matter how much I was trying to avoid it, but also a few weeks earlier I was on the ketogenic diet, which I did so that I could decrease the inflammation of my nervous system. But what I learned in my research was that actually ketogenic diet is not the best for the liver. And so I felt it was heavy, it needed help, it was polluted also by the medicines that I was taking, the medication for my nervous system, for the inflammation, for the pain, so I could manage it. So I put all of those away. I have not touched any conventional medicine since, except for on 2 occasions since then. And instead what I did is I followed the medical medium protocol for heavy metal cleanse. Now what does that entail? It entails, first and foremost, spirulina. Spirulina is a compound, or it's an organism, an algae, which effectively picks up heavy metals and it eliminates them out of the body. According to medical medium, chlorella, which is also advertised heavily as one of such helpers, is not as effective because it picks up the metal and then it drops it. So it does not help to eliminate it. Spirulina is something that I mix every day. I drink this. I mix 1 teaspoon of this, just gonna put that over there, with wild blueberry powder. And this company is great. It's called Vimergy, and you can get it. It's from Canada. You can get it if you're in Europe through a UK distributor called Aggressive Health Store. I will put the link down below. They have very pure products. For instance, in this one, there's nothing else. This is the only ingredient. 100% wild blueberry powder. It's pretty awesome. But it's also possible to pick it up frozen in a frozen section in a store at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. Unfortunately, I don't have that here in England, so I needed to get the powder. So 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of that blueberry powder, 1 teaspoon with the spirulina, and then I add barley grass juice powder. This is not barley grass powder, it's barley grass juice powder. And it's very, very potent, and apparently the mixture of the 3, especially when you add a little bit of Atlantic Dulce to this and mix that all together and drink 1 of those glasses a day, is going to help you over a period of time, about a month, 2 or 3, to rid yourself of heavy metals. I mix these with fresh coconut water, because if you add just water, it has a funky taste. The blueberry and the barley grass is great, but the spirulina is a bit fishy, so I like to mix it with coconut. It makes for a good drink. And again, you take that every day if you want to cleanse yourself, and this way you don't have to do IV chelation. It's something I tried. It didn't end well. I ended up going into shock and profusely sweating, practically passing out when the liquid started to pour into my body. So I knew it wasn't for me. I frankly wish I haven't tried it, but I was desperate. I was looking for everything. That wasn't the way to go. The way to go was the natural route, because when you put something directly in your vein, the body doesn't have a way to eliminate it. It doesn't have a way to reject it. It's like you're forcing it down your body's throat, so to speak. Not exactly, because actually when you take it down your throat, you can throw it up. In this case, you can't. This is great advice I got from my friend Peggy Schrimmer. She has a channel called Gut Feelings, and I'm going to actually have a video soon promoting one of her videos on anxiety, which I think is really, really helpful. And she and I also did another video together about the diet after going through a traumatic event, so you can check that one out as well. I'll put the link down below. So she's the person to get more information like this from, since this is not my specialty. I'm just sharing what I did for myself. Then to get my immune system, I'm sorry, let's stick with the heavy metals. Zinc. Zinc was essential. It had to be in a liquid form, according to my specialists, my experts, as zinc sulfate. And this way it's much better absorbed. If you take it in a tablet, I used to take it in a tablet. It's actually really tasty. It's got like a sweet taste. It's very nice. If you take it in a tablet, the body doesn't absorb it as well, so you can end up spending, a lot of money on something that your body doesn't even use. So what's interesting about zinc, that apparently it has a similar chemical composition as heavy metals. And so when your thyroid or your brain lacks zinc, which it needs to function properly, what it will do is it will absorb lead or mercury or cadmium instead and think it's zinc. So we need to fill in those lacks with zinc, which is very low in our environment now due to pollution and environmental factors. So you need to supplement it, and this one is fantastic. So that helps to work in tandem with the heavy metal purge, right? Because you're purging the heavy metals and you're bringing in zinc and also a bunch of other wonderful compounds from those green powders, and your diet is very important here too. So it's like I said, we're eliminating soy, corn, dairy, eggs, unfortunately, are no bueno, no good. We can't have them. And the other things I had mentioned. And we're bringing in organic fruits and vegetables and good fats in the form of flax seeds, for instance, so we can get the omega-3s. Okay, next thing is I needed to rejuvenate my nervous system, which was severely depleted after months of being in tremendous pain and anxiety from the pain, because I didn't know what was happening to me. I'm not normally an anxious person. Sometimes, we have those moments in life, but this brought on a big dose of anxiety because, again, I didn't know what I was up against, what I was dealing with. I didn't know if I'm going to die next year or if I'm going to be okay. I had no idea. And I was planning to go to school and moving here to England, and there were many instances when I thought that maybe I should not do it, just stay home and basically live in my bed, which I'm glad I didn't do because I'm good now. Okay, so vitamin B12. Again, this is one of those supplements that you can get almost anywhere at any price, but I would steer you away from the cheap brands that are just filled with stuff that doesn't do anything for you, and the actual vitamin B12 is so minimal in there that they barely get anything. And apparently there's the two that you need, this is according to Medical Medium, are methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin. You need those two in order for your nerves to have the raw material with which to rejuvenate. So I've been taking this every day, 3 times a day, sometimes 5 times a day, and it's made a big difference. So that's B12. Lemon balm also helps to calm the nervous system, or Melissa is another name for it. You can have it in a form of tea, and I drink a ton of herbal teas every day, or you can just get it again through Vimergy, lemon balm. It's delicious, it tastes like honey. It's easy to get addicted to this stuff. What else? Since we're on teas, Metal Tea, this is a Polish brand. I love making a whole pitcher full of this and drinking it. It just has a delicious taste. You want to get wild nettles if you can. What else? Another super potent anti-inflammatory, antibacterial is Cat's Claw. Amazon sells it. Look for a pure brand. This one is from Naturally Warming. No, gosh. I sound like Jessica Simpson when she said that tuna is a chicken of the sea, and she thought it was chicken. So it is a Rio Amazon tea. Rio Amazon tea is the brand. I got it on Amazon. I think about £10 is how much I paid. It's really, it tastes funky. It's kind of bitterish, but it's very, very good. On the other side, polar opposite, very sweet, is licorice tea. And that is amazing for the stomach, and also viruses, bacteria hate this delicious drink. There was a time this summer when I felt like I was having stomach ulcer, and I actually asked a family doctor. I described my symptoms, and she's like, "Oh, it sounds like you're getting ulcers." So I'm like, "Okay." And on top of everything, now I have that, right? Why was I getting the ulcer? I think it was anxiety coupled with all the medication that I was taking for pain and anti-inflammatory effects, because the muscles were cramping so bad I could barely move. So I didn't want to take, I actually did for a short time. I took also an anti-acid medication, but you see how quickly they're all adding up, right? Before you know it, you're taking a dozen. But instead I put that aside. I did some research, got myself licorice tea, and drank 2 cups a day, and within a week my stomach pre-ulcer or whatever what was forming cleared and never came back. So I really recommend it. For immunity, Ester C, fantastic, but you want to get it in Ester C form, just a regular over-the-counter vitamin C. We take it in, we pee it out, doesn't really do much. So again, Vimergy is the one I choose to use. For the virus, for the specific virus that I had, which was like a shingles mixed with, I also had an outbreak of cold sores on my lips. So these are from the same family. They're very annoying, very painful. It's the same, basically the same stuff works on all of them. So lysine was incredibly helpful. Again, Vimergy, why? Because it's super pure and very effective. It's 500 milligrams per capsule, and I took 8 of those, sometimes 12 a day, so loads of it. I still take it every day. MSM powder, great for the nervous system, joints, bones. It's also antiparasitic, antiviral. 1 teaspoon I take, not every day, but in the beginning I took it every day, and it's a little bitter, but it's worth to do it, to take it, because it helps. It really helps your body get stronger. Magnesium, excellent for calming your nerves down, good for sleeping. Again, I've had to do a lot of research with the help of Peggy. She pointed me towards magnesium glycinate, which is highly absorbable. Again, we don't just take it in and pee it out, we actually absorb it. I got it on Amazon, and it's a big bottle, so it lasts a long time. Chaga mushroom extract powder, great for immune system. I mix it in with my matcha tea in the morning. I make myself a latte with oat milk, and I add this in. It's really tasty. I look forward to drinking this every day. It's really good for your immune system. As an anti-inflammatory, curcumin. I'm sure you know this. It's great for the liver. It's great for the body overall. And it's excellent for pain and for muscle spasms and so on and so forth. So I add this to my morning breakfast when I make yogurt. I have this really nice coconut yogurt here at the store nearby, which is just made with coconut and just some culture, so it doesn't have any additional fillers. And I mix this in with a little bit of honey and ground flax seeds, and it just makes the perfect breakfast. I don't have it every day, but I try to have it often. It's really good. So curcumin is awesome. Alpha lipoic acid is also helps to eliminate any kind of inflammation causing compounds in your body by neutralizing them. So I really like this. This is Dr. Mercola. This wasn't cheap, but it works, and I'm feeling better and better. I just got this one. Actually, it's a new addition to my little to my collection. And I've been using it for about a week and a half now, and I'm feeling a difference in my energy levels. And finally, one last thing as I have is here colloidal silver, which is what I used when I was getting a lot of sore throat and also like sores inside my mouth from the virus just showing itself. It wouldn't go away. It was like really stubborn, but again, this was a really good artillery to help with the sore throat. And it's in general, it's good for that when you're feeling, you know, the cold coming on and so on. It may not completely arrest it. You may still have to go through the cycle of your cold, but it will help to alleviate the symptoms. So that's it. This is what I did. I didn't want to make a video sooner because I was testing other things, and since then I stopped taking anything else that was superfluous or not necessary. This was it. In addition to that, diet was essential. 2 cups, so 18 ounces of pure celery juice, organic celery juice every morning on an empty stomach. That also has antiviral properties apparently. So I did that pretty much every day religiously for a month and a half. I haven't been doing it as often now, but I want to get back to it because it really kept my skin clear. It made me feel like I was really clean on the inside. So where am I now? Now I feel like I've cleared it. Whatever it was, I've cleared it. I don't get these horrible headaches anymore. My energy levels are better. I still do have some issues with my neck. I have an amazing team helping me with that, a chiropractor and a massage therapist. I'm also doing exercises to help improve my posture, which also, you know, if you spend a lot of time on a computer, can be compromised. And just keeping my attitude positive, meditating, thinking positive, grateful for what I have and the life I'm living, and it's all now headed in the right direction. I did do Lyme disease tests and they came out negative, so that's it. I hope you guys are doing good. If you're struggling with any pain, know that you can heal it, you can come out of it. It's possible. Nature can heal you, and just don't give up. Keep on searching. And I definitely think that years of emotional abuse, psychological abuse, not knowing what was going on, not having any answers, just being lost in it, you know, being lost in a maze, has contributed to this difficult period. But I feel more immune now than ever, and I feel like I'm armed with good information should anything like that come back again, knock on wood. And I just wanted to share it with you too because it could be helpful for you as well. Okay, I'm gonna go now, go to class, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and wish you all the best, and I look forward to connecting again soon.